All right, Coach Roberts. First things first, man. You look very studious with the glasses on. I must say that. You look pretty good.
I'm doing my best. How are
Okay,
you, Zeb?
I'm good. I wanted to call and congratulate you on your. I don't want to say this. I know I'm probably going to get some blowback for this, but your world championship with an asterisk next to it. I said it. I said it. I said it.
You know what? We'll take that.
I would.
I,
Yes.
it's okay.
If the tribe would have won, I'd have taken it.
Yeah. What a crazy year, and how great to just be able to watch sports and have some semblance of, normalcy. And yeah, 60 game season. But and I can say this, I think, without being biased, because my team won. But man, all those guys on all the teams and stuff had maybe more challenges, different than the long grind, dog days of summer, all that, the 162 games, but different challenges, man. Being isolated, being in a so-called bubble, a hotel, the protocols, all that, having to go through an extra series in the playoffs,
Yeah,
than normal.
it was
Another round.
It was
four rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, four rounds. So for the Dodgers, they played a pretty good Milwaukee team. And then, and the 3-game series for all the teams are really scary to me as a fan.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you've seen baseball enough. Anything can happen in a 3-game series.
Yes.
I mean, you could have run the gauntlet during the year and been the absolute best team and lose a 3-game series.
Well, totally. Yeah, I think you get your better team.
The longer it increases, it goes to 5, it goes to 7. Usually, on average, the better team wins. Not always, but usually. 3-game though, crazy. Brewers, Padres, a scary Padres team. I mean, with
young talent. Tatis.
Oh, Fernando Tatis and Machado, and just scary guys, man.
Yeah.
And then the Braves, that epic series with the Braves, down 3-1, and it was almost like it was almost like Schilling, I believe, said against the Yankees that year when it was 3-0, said, "Don't let us win one." They got in at 3-2. They tied it up 3-3. Game 7, went to the series, went to the Fall Classic. Asterisk, it's okay, man. We're feeling good this morning.
Yeah, I guess LA's championship town. Now it only.
Yeah,
now,
and I got to preface. My wife says there is no we. It's not we, Kevin. You've never played for the Dodgers. You don't know anyone on the Dodgers. You're not employed by the Dodgers. You've never been in the organization. You've never lived in LA, let alone California. There is no we. Because early in the season, I was like, we got to get going. We got to get these bats going, man. What? She's like, it's not we. It's they. I say it's
right.
we, man.
She's right.
I've been following them since 1979. If I want to say it's we, then it's we.
I love it. Hey. So congratulations on that. Good for you guys. I mean, we didn't get the job done. We drew. I think whatever. Right? We can do if the ifs and the buts about the tribe, but you get the Yankees right out of the gate. Obviously, it's not good for us. Not the best matchup, and then it's just how it goes.
It's a wonderful game, though.
Great game.
As much as I'm into wrestling, it's so different than wrestling, but it's a wonderful game to be a fan of.
It really is.
And the managing and just the high press situation. It's a great game. It really is.
Yeah. I think it was Kenny Monday. He just tweeted out how much he loves it, and then it was like the World Series, right? The World Series. Mm-hmm. I want to say it was Kenny Monday. I can't remember if it was him or not, but somebody tweeted it out, and I got so excited that I was like, oh man, if he's a fan of it, right?
Yeah, because that guy has some emotion. That guy has some competitive fire. I mean, It is. It's really a great game, and the drama. I think the series of it adds something to it. It's not a
Yeah.
one-off. It's not a one game. You get you get to follow the people and the managers and the decisions, and of course the announcers. And that's their job. They have analytics on everything. They have
Oh, the numbers
the big thing.
are unreal. The numbers are unreal.
Well, the thing that'll go down last night, is taking Snell out of the game, and people will be talking about that. They were talking about Grady Little leaving. What was it, Pedro in 20 years ago too long, and it cost him his job. And analytics, all that. I was a coach a long time. Sometimes you got to go with your gut.
Yeah, no, and I agree with that.
And live with it.
Yeah, and here's what Dan Rather, Kenny Monday, he quoted Dan Rather, right? And he said, Dan Rather said, baseball is just beautiful and surprising, tense, and comforting. So baseball is just beautiful and surprising, tense, and comforting. It's unlike anything else I have ever seen, and I love it. And Kenny Monday said, especially the World Series. And how that game, and I know you guys came out on the wrong end of it, right? With the 2 errors in one play and the swipe tag, and he missed the ball. But it didn't cost you the series. It's the crazy thing.
No, it didn't. It didn't. But it's one of those things. Like I can remember where I was, what room I was in when Kirk Gibson hit that home run in '88. And much like that, I can remember
fist bumping the whole.
I'll never forget that game. The one that we blew the other night as I'm sitting in a hotel room eating hot Cheetos, watching the game in a hotel room with my daughter in Logan, Utah, out at the Western States, preseason tournament. And oh my God, how does that happen? And I've heard smart people say before, if you watch baseball enough, chances are you will see something that you've never seen before. You could watch baseball for another 20 years and never see that play again.
Couldn't agree with you.
1 inning.
Couldn't agree with you more.
One play.
I couldn't agree with you more.
I mean, unreal.
Can we shift gears? I love baseball. I'm glad I kind of tried to reel it in by bringing Kenny Monday into it. But we got to talk wrestling. I mean, I love talking everything else with you, right? I mean, we're not even going to get into politics. That's a whole nother 55-gallon drum of worms, right?
We're trying to keep 100% of the viewers you have today, whether that's 2 or 1 million. We're trying to keep all of them, not eliminate 50% of them.
Correct. So here's the deal. I was out there this summer, and I actually got the pleasure of looking at some properties with you, right? All around in the tri-state area you guys live in, right? And it's just a beautiful area where you live, Kevin. The Rocky Mountains, you're right, the gateway to the Rocky Mountains, right? You're not too far from British Columbia. It's really beautiful where you live. And, I love it out there. I love coming out there. But you've been kicking around the idea of starting your own club, and you finally started to look at properties and take it a little more seriously. Where are you at right now with starting your own club?
Well, so really, I'm not starting a club per se, but although, this year, just things may change a little bit with I bought a facility just to get to the short of it. And it's going to be, it's a place to train. But I'm not right now per se starting a club where I'm going 3, 4, 5 nights a week and stuff. We're going to have year-round wrestling and stuff, but we do a lot of weekends. We're going to do weekend camps. We're going to do winter camps. We're going to do spring break camps. We're going to do summer camps. And then, obviously this year where we're at, with a lot of schools not probably opening their doors for who knows how long. I mean, to outside groups or anything. it may be a little bit more of a, weekly like place to practice or whatever. But, I'm very comfortable. I got a great club up here I'm a part of with the Inland Northwest Training Center. I've been there with Brian Owen now for 2 years, and we got great people there. And so like my kids wrestle there. My kids represent the club. I got 3 of them in the sport of wrestling, from Drew down to my, like, that's, 18 now, down to my younger ones. And so Brian and I are good friends. We're like, I'll keep doing that. But I did buy a piece of property a little bit out in the country that I'm going to start having year-round like camps. Some of them will be big beginner camps. Some of them will be like hammer camps, where it's a very small, specific group, iron sharpen iron, so to speak. Throw all the cliches in there you want, but we'll have high-level wrestling, and that's kind of where we're at right now.
So you're not creating a club to compete with Brian's club.
No. I will still, I'll still coach for the club.
No, that's good that you tell me those things, because I don't know that.
I still got all the jackets, the hats, the gear. My daughter wrestled for Inland Northwest last weekend in Utah. Roberts does not have a wrestling club. You will not see any Roberts trained shirts or those. I don't like those. You won't see any of that nonsense. But we have a place where we will load it up with the artillery and let the guys bang and teach them high-level wrestling. And, man, they get to stay, they get to be out in the woods and experience that a little bit. But at the same time, it's not too far from society.
You find a place where you're like, man, I can see myself training athletes here, but you don't, you're off the beaten path a little bit. They're going to be out in the country, but they're going to be close within half hour of an airport, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Travel like pretty easily to your camp. For me to, from Ohio, I usually have to connect in like Minneapolis, St. Paul, or Denver to get out to Spokane, to get to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, where you guys are, and Idaho, Northern Idaho, Eastern Washington, and then Western Montana, right? That would be the tri-state region I'm talking about.
Yeah, yep.
Bitterroot Mountains, Rocky Mountain, range. You guys are right there, and everybody.
Snake, Hell's Canyon, Clearwater. I mean,
Lake Pend Oreille is not far from you guys. Sandpoint, it's all right there. Missoula, how far is Missoula, Montana?
168 miles, I think.
So out there, you can drive Missoula in under 2.5 hours, right?
Yeah, you can get you can get there. You can get there in probably 2.5 hours, if you don't have a lot of snow and ice on the pass. Sure.
Yeah. So Lookout Pass is no joke.
Yeah. Lookout, 4th of July.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
But beautiful country, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
And that's why we like it,
And you know why that's why I love coming out there. Your brother-in-laws, they're a national treasure, by the way. Those guys, they're something else.
They're a riot, man. Jeff almost died a couple weeks ago on a hunting.
What is Jeff doing?
Well, everybody wants to be great, whatever you're doing. So he wants to be the world's best hunter when he's out in the middle of nowhere and, get an elk and then take where they're at and what the daylight is and the ravine it's in and all that, take 12 hours to get it out of there. He said, I haven't been that dehydrated since I was wrestling in high school, man. I almost died.
I would love to hear his brother's commentary on that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's really cool too, that you have really good coaches. Like your brother-in-law is one of the top coaches in the state of Idaho. He's the head coach at Coeur d'Alene High, Jeff Moffitt. Like he tries to kill himself packing elk out of a canyon, right? But you got family, you got guys like that are around. Your son, he's one of the top 145, 152s in the country, middleweights in the country, right? Ironman placer, multi-time Fargo placer. You've already got people. It's already in place. It's not you're going to have to bring in all these outside people. You're a 2-time D1 All-American. You're a D1 head coach for 20-plus years. I mean, there's a lot of experience out there, Kevin. You guys got a lot of knowledge base when it comes to wrestling, and you know how to train athletes. I watched you in the 2012 Olympic trial finals in Iowa City in one of the greatest 3-match series ever. It didn't go your way, right? But one of the greatest 3-match series ever, right? A great 3-match series. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're talking with about Nick Simmons
Yeah.
and Hazewinkle, but I mean, remember that morning, the match with Cejudo.
How about one of the greatest in-person matches I've ever seen?
Probably one of the best action-packed freestyle matches I've seen, certainly of this era. I mean, you got to remember, hey, my friend.
Hi.
What's going on, dude? You've been watching out for pterodactyls? Hey, I mean, remember the era that was coming out of with the periods era and the best out of three and all that and the ball grab and this, I mean, and that. And not to be too critical, but that was not in many ways a very good era of wrestling. You watch that and you go back and you watch. I mean, it was a lost era in a lot of ways. There were so many matches that could have been such ones for the ages that were, you know, like the rules just kind of changed things up, the way guys wrestled and almost like very strategic and which you got to at that level, but afraid to make a mistake. Yeah, hey, I'm going to get the ball. I'm going to get the ball, and I'm going to just run the guy out of bounds because I'm going to start with his leg in the air.
Yeah.
And you look back to the 80s, the 90s, man, in wrestling, my God, the list of the videos I got over here that I could watch and break down with these guys, man, the early 2000s, that first part, we didn't see enough of that.
Kevin,
but that match we did.
That match, that was also 2 threes ended a period. 2 feet to backs ended a period, didn't they? Yes, 2 threes ended a period. A person could lose a period.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
By
Yeah.
points, they could lose a period and win the period.
Yeah. I don't know.
Point tech fall. Hold on. How about somebody could text somebody 6-0, lose
and then
1-0.
Hey, lose 1-1-1-1.
There you go. Right? Like a guy could text
cumulative score 8-2, and I lost. Yeah. Go explain that to someone and try to get them in the sport that doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah. Hey, I lost the period 6-0, and then I won 1-0. I scored 2 points. That guy scored a total of 6, but I won the match.
No, I mean, hey. We were talking baseball, so go explain how that. Remember that 11 spot the Dodgers put up in that one game? So then take those innings and make them, and a bunch of them were, 1-1, 1-0 the other way. And imagine if the score was like 15-6 at the end of 9 innings, but you lost. I mean, it's mind-boggling. Yeah. It's bizarre. It would almost be more believable if they decided to do that in 2020 instead of back when they did it, just because how bizarre 2020. I mean, that would almost be that, like, okay, well, it's 2020, man. There's a lot of moronic stuff going on. Okay.
I just watched Thomas clobber his head. We're talking, oh man, this little guy, he's something else.
Little Tom just had a birthday, right?
Little Tom just had a birthday 3 days ago. Yeah, he's good now though. Kevin, real quick, what can we expect to see at why is it the dungeon, and what can we expect to see at the dungeon?
Well, you're going to probably come out and visit the dungeon at some point, are you not?
I mean, come on. I think it's just assumed.
So, yeah, I mean, it kind of depends on the camp and stuff like that. So we had one camp, and and right now we're getting ready for another one coming in a couple weeks. But like some of them will have a lot of wrestling at. Some of them will have a lot of wrestling, but I do believe you go every day. You teach something. I mean, we're going to teach something, every day. And even if it's a day where it's more set on, a lot of hard wrestling, a lot of combat or something in those sessions, we're still going to do everyday drills, like where we work on stuff, just fundamentals, and where we work on position and instill some of the philosophy and the stuff that we're trying to do. But, this is a thing with, big ideas. And so like my hope is that, obviously we will have a lot of local people throughout some of these camps, especially during the school year. Our home base will still be the Northwest and stuff. But when we get into the summertime, I really envision, and I think it will happen, and working collaboratively with some of the people that I'm close with or have developed relationships with over the years, of bringing some of their kids in, whether it's from Ohio, Illinois, California, Michigan. And I do think we will have camps where we have, 20 hammers, so to speak, that are there, and they're there, and that's about it at that certain time. And where it's, really for some of those high level guys that want to get, some great coaching, and great partners. Surround yourself with like-minded and high energy and high people with high goals. And so I do think we'll have that. I think we will have people flying across the country to come spend a week with us, or whatever it may be.
You have such strong relationships and ties with, obviously you worked the J-Rob camp system for many years, right? Obviously, Jimmy Z's camps at Oregon State that you guys had were dynamite camps. I loved coming to them, right? Those were great camps. And then there's these other systems, Drew's come out here from Burnett trained, right? You have other people that you deal with that are Jordan people, right? Then you got the Pearlers, and then you've got Izzy's got camps, right? You coached Izzy in junior college.
Yep.
Coach Izzy out of Chicago, right? I mean, there's all these different camp systems, and they're everywhere. And how do you carve out your own niche and your own way of doing it, and what's going to be unique to Roberts Wrestling, right? What's Roberts Wrestling, the Man on Fire? What is the Dungeon going to offer differently than those other places I mentioned?
Well, some people are going to have to take my word for it until they get here, but you've been around me enough. And number one is, I think, energy and passion. I think there's not a lot of people that'll come and work as hard every day on a consistent basis from session to session, whether I'm working with beginning level kids or guys that are back on break from college. It's a labor of love. I love it. I go there every day. I go to practice every day. And so, the first thing I think about in the morning is wrestling. And it's one of those last things I think about at night is like how, what are the drills? What did we see at practice today? How do we get this guy in better position? How do we get this guy to transition? He's not getting it off his takedowns into his top wrestling. And just how do we get better? He's not getting the weight off his hands when he's on bottom. Why can't he change over? We got to get better at these things. So every day we're going to come and we're going to work hard at wrestling. And I just think when you have passion and energy, and a zest for something, I think it's contagious. I don't know if you'll see anything that you don't see anywhere else, but I can tell you, we'll work hard with the kids, and we'll, surround ourselves with people the same, the people working with me and for me and stuff like that will be like that. And, it's just something that consumes me. More than the Dodgers, my family and wrestling. That's about it. It's pretty simple.
Not being beholden to a facility, right? You were beholden to Eastern Washington, right? You had the camp last 2019, July 2019. You had the camp. Ashnault came out. The Mongoose came out. Dustin Schlater.
Right.
You're going to continue to bring people in like that, I'm sure, from what I know of you. But not being tied to a facility and now having your own private facility, how excited are you about that, Kevin?
It's great, man. It's the best of, and it took some, things to fall in place to make it happen. And obviously some risk out there and investing and that, but it's the best. I'm striving to have the best of both worlds. So we're going to work really hard. We're going to grind really hard. There's going to be certain times of the year when we're doing nothing but working. And then the trade-off is going to be when my own kids are getting to wrestle or gymnastics or whatever it is, hey, guess what? There's no camp that weekend. Kids wrestling in the Midlands. Yeah, we were going to have a winter break camp, but I'm going to watch that instead. I'm going to go to, Iowa City that weekend to watch my boy, wrestle Minnesota and against Iowa or things like that as an example. So, we will work and we'll work hard like when we're there, but it really allows me some flexibility to, follow my own kids and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really looking to have my own facility, property, improve it as I go along. I mean, I got 1,000,001 ideas and maybe I'll do 3 of them, but it's just, you look at the property, the way it's set up, what you could build here, what you could build there, improvements on the property, where you could set things. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a challenge. It's a new phase. I'm very excited about it.
If people want to start to see things you schedule and they want to see what's going on and what your whole schedule is, and I know you haven't released your summer schedule for next year yet, but they want to see the Christmas break schedule. They want to see what's going on in springtime. They want to see the weekly schedule. Where can they find all your information? How can people get in touch with you, Coach Roberts?
The best way is Instagram at Roberts Wrestling. I have a website, robertswrestling.com. But hey, do you know anybody that's good at doing websites? I'm not very good. So that stuff usually comes out after I can get someone to help me do that on the website. Instagram and Twitter, man. Roberts Wrestling on Instagram. I put all my stuff on there. Every time something comes up, I put it on there. Here's the next camp. There's going to probably be 2 before the end of the calendar year. And then, we'll be working on the next things coming and coming after that and looking forward to the spring and the summer. And so really exciting. And I imagine you may make a trip to the dungeon at some point. I'm just telling you, you got to be careful. When you get ready to go to the dungeon, make sure you have your bases covered. Make sure you've set Sarah and the kids up with good insurance policy and all that. Should something very, very nasty happen, Zeb, when you come to the dungeon.
Oh man, you're ridiculous.
It's gonna be pretty fun.
So you're gonna be doing a lot less traveling as far as like people are gonna have to come to you if they want.
That might be the greatest part of all, right? I mean, when you make a living and you go and you do camps in 36 states or something like that, maybe 33, something like that. And then and there, there's a nice part of it. You get to see some places and stuff like that. But really, man, you're working, and when you're working 2 and 3 session a days, especially the older you get, sometimes you just want to go into the hotel, and you don't want to. And you're gone. You're gone. You're away from your own family, and this is cool. This is far enough away that I don't have 100 kids running around my backyard and stuff like that, and in the neighborhood. And so we have some space. So we're out in the sticks just a little bit, but I can be home. If my kid has a little league baseball game, I can go there. And I spend less time in airports and hotels and more closer to the inland Northwest, where we like it out here,
All right, Coach. I love it. I'll be out probably sooner than later. You got anything else for me? Any other good ones for me? Any good stories?
Oh God, man, alive. Stories. Gee, many Christmas. Like, where do we start? Where do we end? How much time you got? I mean, I
gotta go take my kids hiking, or I would stay here and talk to you.
There is always stories. Oh my God. I got a couple. We'll save for next time. I got a couple off of Livewire, or whatever this is, the
Zoom.
The Zoom. Yeah, I got. Hey, the live TV or Zoom, whatever you. Okay, I got a few that are better off of that. That are. Oh my God. Oh
All right,
boy.
hey, real quick, I'm gonna cut this recording. Let's talk afterwards. I appreciate your time, man. All right.
Hey, thanks. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. When's the next camp, by the way?
November 13th through the 15th.
Fall, isn't it?
Full.
All right,
9 days sold out.
Coach. Thanks for the time.
We're,
Good
we're not we're not up to you know, I mean we're not up to out to selling out like Garth Brooks or Brad Paisley like in Kuwait yet. But hey, you know, 9 days, it's pretty good, man. We're not on the radio yet. The commercials aren't on the radio, so that's all social media, man.
Awesome, Coach. Thanks for the time.